so thanks for joining us, and congratulations again on winning the Bookkeeping Business of the Year award for ICNZB this year.
Yes.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about yourself, third admin, and your ICNZB membership?
Sure do. So as you introduced me as, I'm Sue Inkersell. So our business is Third Arm Admin. We're a bookkeeping practice in Wellington, and now we have an office in Hamilton as well. So there is currently 12 of us on the team, and my ICNZB membership. I've been a member for years. It kind of started out an accountant years ago, and this is going back a long time, kind of said, oh, you know, have you heard about this new association? You should join up. And back in the day, I kind of went, a membership association for bookkeepers, like, what's the point in that? Obviously, I joined, and then, you know, got roped onto the exec, and etc., etc. The rest is history, really. An invaluable kind of support membership organisation for our industry. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And I certainly must take the opportunity to thank you for all of your hard work over the years on the executive committee as treasurer as well.
Oh, yes. There's lots of people have put in lots of hours.
Oh, there really is. There really is. So can you tell me a little bit about the Bookkeeping Business of the Year award that you won and what it means to Third Arm Admin?
So you and I were just quickly chatting before we did this interview, and it's really interesting because I hadn't traditionally been a person who did award nominations. I kind of got challenged to do it, and it's a really good process to go through to kind of reflect on kind of what you do, why you do it, kind of where your business is at and stuff. And the other thing that we've kind of found is that it's really rewarding for the team. You know, like, I know, you know, I get satisfaction every day from doing what I do because I kind of see the difference that we're making to, you know, to our clients and kind of how that impacts their lives and stuff. But the team don't necessarily see that as often as what I do. And so they can kind of get bogged down in doing what they're doing. So, for me, this is kind of validation of the work that they are doing, as much as anything, and it's really rewarding for them. And they get, you know, we get to celebrate. So wins all round.
No, never going to complain about an opportunity to celebrate.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So can you share a little bit about your journey of how you got into bookkeeping?
Yeah. Man. How long have we got? Hours? How did I get into bookkeeping in an abbreviated version? So I used to work in a job for a company that I loved. Awesome company, awesome business to work for, awesome job, but it was a big job and it wasn't kind of a mum, you know, they were a mum-friendly business, but it wasn't a mum-friendly job, you know, like it was kind of big hours during the week. Saturday mornings was kind of, you know, meetings. It was a construction company. Saturday morning was meetings with the team and all that kind of stuff. You know, it was a big job, great company, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, full on. Decided in all my wisdom I was going to, you know, young baby, 1 year old, decided I was going to be a kept woman. I got bored after 2 weeks. And so just kind of found in the local rag, you know, the little community paper, someone that was looking for 5 hours a week to do their bookkeeping. And it just kind of grew from there. Then I ended up being a single mum and kind of had to do something, as I had to make a decision as to whether I was going to kind of do more of these 5-hour jobs or go and get a job. And it kind of worked with having 2 young kids and, you know, wanting to get them off to school, and you know, it worked with mum life, and so it just have kind of grown it from there. And then you kind of get to a stage, we got to a stage about 8 or 9 years ago as to, you know, this is quite hard, and just with a couple of staff, you know, we weren't kind of big enough to be able to do some things, but we were too big to be able to, you know, there was that balance. And so
that interesting point in time in your business journey.
Yeah. And so, you know, then you get to that stage and you got to make decisions again. So this
just keep going.
Ended up, yeah, we keep going.
Yeah. One thing I really love about the industry is how it allows you to fit it around the lifestyle that you want to have. Like,
Yeah,
you can be you can work 70 hours a week if you want to. I don't know why you would want to, but you can.
but
Or you
some
can
people do.
absolutely. Or you can, as you say, do a couple of 5-hour-a-week jobs, and it's just perfect for keeping your brain active and all those things that fit around your lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah, it is a really good industry to to kind of allow that. But then you do get to the point where it becomes quite consuming. It's not that part-time gig any longer, which I know you'll be kind of aware of as well. So
Yep, absolutely. You're preaching to the converted.
Yep.
What's been the best outcome of working with you as an ICNZB bookkeeper or third arm admin as an accredited bookkeeping business that you've had for a client?
A specific outcome or generally?
Either way, you choose.
Yeah. So probably generally it's about it's about the knowledge, and it's about there's a lot of industry stuff. So like if you use kind of 2.5 years ago, and I hate going back and talking about COVID again because in my head we've moved on, right? But 2.5 years ago, I look at all the work that we kind of felt like the world was ending when we got locked out in March 2020. And I look at all the work that there was, a whole lot of us were doing with IRD, and we were kind of the one of our big customers was the first business that they went through and assessed for for the wage subsidy and all, and come back and declined and said, you need to read through this on the website. And because of the stuff I've been doing with ICNZB, I actually went, you guys need to read your own website, because this is what it says, and this is so from there, and that was from my knowledge that I had kind of gleaned from being daily conversations with IRD right over the previous week, and so and that was through ICNZB. So through that, our client had 150 staff who all of a sudden got the wage subsidy, because he was on the brink of he was going to make staff redundant, all kinds of stuff. So, and I know without my knowledge, his wage subsidy would have been declined, and he would have gone, that's it, and not knowing any different. So, I guess for me that was a massive one. But it's also about the daily ones, like it's. You can't kind of say this without sounding a little bit arrogant, but I know that our clients are better off dealing with us. When they've got a good bookkeeper on their team, they're in a much better position, and that's from knowledge, that's from software knowledge, it's from kind of industry knowledge, it's from kind of legislative knowledge, all of that kind of stuff that makes that difference.
Yeah, and certainly the excuse me, the way that our members are very focused on keeping themselves up to date and on top of what's next, not just kind of like what has been. I completely agree.
And you can use the example of e-invoicing with that, right? Like it's theoretically it's here, but it's not. It's not really here because there's not a lot of people using it. So it's about kind of being on top of all of that kind of stuff, and that's good for business. So
absolutely, like I don't know any business owners that have time to get as in-depth and knowledge about e-invoicing as we do in the industry. Absolutely. What would you say your vision is for the future of bookkeeping in 5 years' time?
It's interesting when I was looking before we joined this meeting and saw that question, because we were just talking about this last week at our staff meeting about what's it going to look like. So the next 12 to 18 months, I believe, are going to be kind of super challenging, and we're going to see quite a bit of change. But like if you take kind of where the economy is and stuff aside, and just put technology and innovation and all of that kind of thing into the equation, there's just gonna be a massive amount of change, and I think it's really important that we as bookkeepers embrace automation and embrace digitization and all of these things that kind of cut down on our time. There's a perception that if people kind of automate stuff or have good digitization in businesses, that it's going to cut down our time and we're doing ourselves out of jobs. But I kind of go, the more that we can do that, the more we're empowering the business owners, the more knowledge we are giving them, because they can keep up, they've got up-to-date and accurate information. And actually, the more businesses we're freeing ourselves up to be able to help more businesses. So, from an economy point of view, we're making even more of a difference. So
absolutely,
I think it's super important for us to embrace that digitization and kind of get away from the traditional bookkeeping is kind of sitting down and keying in creditors' invoices and doing lots of data entry stuff, right? So 10 or 15 years ago, that's what bookkeeping looked like. Now and going forward, I think bookkeeping, we're very much having to become kind of digital ambassadors. We're very much having to become, if we're not already, we've got to become very IT savvy. We've got to be across, across software, what's kind of coming up. Just, generally, I struggle a bit with the advisors thing, but we kind of are.
It depends on your perception on the word advisor, I think. I think it's not about telling people how to run their businesses better, all those sorts of things.
It's about giving them the options, being aware of what's out there and giving them the options as to how
I agree. I completely agree. And you're so right in not being afraid about automation, because at the end of the day, automation doesn't equal expertise.
No.
And so there will always be a role for bookkeepers, regardless of how smooth sailing systems can process things.
Look, and I think the more you become willing to embrace that, the more invaluable you're making yourself. The more in demand you are making yourself, because you do have that knowledge to help business owners with stuff that they just don't have time to investigate and look into, and
absolutely. So it's obvious that you have the bookkeeping superpower, but if you could have one other superpower, what would it be and why?
So just to put this in context, right, I live in Wellington and we don't have the best weather in Wellington. So
really, I hadn't heard that.
My superpower would be to control the weather and and have some sunshine and some fine weather, and be able to kind of, I look out the window today and it's kind of okay, but my superpower would be to be able to control the weather.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Although I really like how yours is like, oh, let's make, like your reasoning is let's make it sunshiny, whereas I'd be like, oh, to smite my enemies.
No, let's make the sunshine, get out and get some vitamin D, and
absolutely.
The world is a better place when the sun shines.
It really is. It really is. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today, Sue. And
you're welcome.
Congratulations again to you and Third Arm Admin on winning Bookkeeping Business of the Year this year.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.